DK Audio presents The Feminism Book, read by Antonia Beamish. Forward. Fresh out of university, I applied for a job in the city. The older of the two men who interviewed me looked at my CV and, seeing that I had written about women's issues for the student paper, asked, "Are you a feminist, then?" I could practically see the thought cloud full of heavily dungaried women yomping around the streets with placards, but I wanted a job, so I replied cautiously. "Well, I'm my idea of a feminist. I doubt whether I'm yours." He acknowledged my diplomacy with a nod, but kept returning to the subject and, despite attempted intervention by his younger colleague, badgering me about it. In the end, in exasperation, I said, "Oh, for God's sake, I shaved my legs for this interview, if that makes you feel any better." His colleague froze, but he laughed. I got the job. All of which is by way of saying, it's a complicated business, is feminism. Ignorance abounds, as do stereotypes, hostility, and simple confusion. The only way to dispel any and all of these is to provide greater information, to fill with facts the void that allows fears, doubts, and prejudices to rush in. Anything, from mastodons to global socio-political movements, become a whole lot less frightening when they step out of the shadows and you can see exactly what it is you are dealing with. This book illuminates feminism on all sides and beats back ignorance with every page. The Feminism Book also performs a second vital function, to give women in particular a sense of their place in history, which is famously written by the victors. Female activists and their achievements have always been under-celebrated, under-broadcast, and under-acknowledged, and when that happens, it becomes harder to build on what has gone before. The wheel has to be reinvented, which is exhausting even when you don't have to give birth to and raise the next generation at the same time. Most of us are not taught the history of feminism in school. If we come to an awareness of the imbalance between the sexes, it is piecemeal. More often than not, for me, a tiny but outrageous snippet of news would catch my attention and lodge in my brain like a burr. When I was 10, for example, I learned that my friend's younger brother got more pocket money than she did. Why? Because he was a boy. My body practically jackknifed with the pain of the injustice. A few years later, I read in Just 17 magazine that Claudia Schiffer, the most super of the 1980s supermodels, was consumed with anxiety about her uneven hairline. Somewhere deep within me, I recognized that a world in which a young woman could feel like this was possibly not one that was fully arranged around women's comfort and convenience. Realizations come, large and small, over the years, until the skewing of the world in favor of men eventually becomes too obvious to ignore. Then we start casting around for answers, which is either electrolysis or feminism. But what is feminism? Can you be equal but different? Can you be against the patriarchy but still like men? Should you fight every little thing or save your energy for the big ones? And did I disqualify myself from the sisterhood forever by shaving my legs for that interview? How much better it would be to know what forms feminism has taken over the years, how it has evolved, its strengths and its blind spots. To know what fights have already been fought and won, or fought and need fighting again. To be able to look to your historical reserves, marshal your argument troops, and go into battle armed with the knowledge that you are not, and have never been, alone in it. Herein lie mystics, writers, scientists, politicians, artists, and many more who offered new thoughts, new attitudes, new definitions, new rules, new priorities, new insights then and now.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?